Welcome to part two. I'm just waiting for Aberdeen Andy to log on. Lovely kid Andy. Very patient, isn't he? Not like me. I've got no patience, no patience whatsoever. But I don't know what he's doing, Andy. He's probably pouring himself a very large one. What can you do? I haven't seen the Usyk Fury presser. I've only heard, so I haven't seen, so I can only go on what people have said. But the same Tyson looks in shape, but Usyk was saying fronted him out, so I'm hoping that Andy has seen it. But I don't see anybody getting in Usyk's head. We're talking about a guy here that's had 350 amateur fights, and European gold, world gold, Olympic gold, unified cruiserweight, no, undisputed cruiser, and unified heavyweight. All right, Andy.
How are we doing? All right.
Right, listen, have you seen presser today with Fury and Usyk?
Seen that thing with Bunty, the head-to-head thing.
What do you think? I hadn't seen it. What do you think to it?
I watched that. It was all pretty respectful. There was no mad shouting or anything like that. It was pretty respectful. But he's not. I still favour Usyk. I think that's the way I'm going.
Did Tyson look in shape?
I think that was done quite a while ago.
Oh,
it was before he went into training. He said he only needs 5 weeks training or something like that. He said he's only going to be training 5 weeks. I think that's been filmed quite a while ago.
Well, this is how I look at it, right? People keep saying to me, and I haven't seen it yet, oh, he's in shape. You've only got to look at his face. The Gad keeps going on about it. Listen, right, Gad, right? I can take, I'm 11 stone 11 today. That's 165 pound. I can go down to 154. That's 11 pound in 2 days, 3 days. Don't mean I'm in shape, does it? If you look at my face and say, oh God, look at his cheekbones. I bet he's in shape. Don't mean say I'm in shape. You don't know what rest of me looks like. People say to me, you're in shape. Well, I'm stopping 3 and 4 times on a 5-mile run. So I'm not that fit, am I? I'm fitter than I were. And I think that's what Tyson is, just doing enough to look good aesthetically. Let me say you're in shape, fighting shape, does it? There's a difference, Andy, isn't there?
Remember Ali fought Holmes. Everybody thought, "Wow, look how light he is." But it was just a facade, wasn't it? It was just a shadow of himself, wasn't it? Really. So, and I think if you lose weight too quick, it can make you weak. Yeah.
Listen, mate. Froch Groves. Froch says to me, "What do you reckon?" I goes, "Oh, you're looking great shape and that." And he goes, "Oh, nice one, nice one." Froch Groves won, yeah, but he weren't in fight shape. Carl weren't in fight shape for that fight. You're in shape and you made weight and there's no body and your body fat's looks great and all that blah blah blah. But he weren't in fight shape. There's a difference. Now Tyson, 2 months ago, only 2 months ago, he looked in awful condition, didn't he?
Yeah.
Awful condition. Now, 6 weeks ago, he didn't look in good condition then. 4 weeks ago, same. So what's happened in the last 4 weeks is he tried to crash it. People get carried away with a post on social media. It's like, when you see Big John Fury, big fighting man, running down the street, right, in the morning, sweating like a pig. He's poured a bottle of water on his send. And all you get is 30 seconds of him running, right? And that's all, 30 seconds. Listen, I could do that. I can get a cameraman to follow me with a gimbal in a car while I'm running down the lane and get me 30 seconds. And everybody, look at Porky, he's in right shape. Look at his face, look at his tan, look at his teeth. I might only run 30 seconds. I might be blowing out my arse. I might be sniffing beak all night. Do you know what I mean? And smoking weed to come down off it. People don't know that, do they? Aesthetically, it can look all right. I don't mean you're in shape, does it? It's knackers. Let's see John Fury do this 10 kilometres that he does in 45 minutes. Well, it takes Froch 36 minutes to do 10 kilometres, right? 36 minutes. And he's supposed to be an athlete. So if he's only 9 minutes, right, slower than Froch, and he's twice the body weight, how's he doing that, John Fury? He's not just
Nah,
any normal man, is he?
he's a superhuman, man. The quickest I've done a 10K is
Hey,
45 minutes, and that was probably about 18 years ago. And
you did what? How long?
the quickest I've done a 10K in was in 45 minutes, and that's probably 18 years ago.
Do you know John
Uh,
from Welcome Estates? You remember John from Welcome Estates he jumped in Peter Fury's ice bath? Remember?
Sparkling John,
Yeah, pardon?
Sparkling John.
Sparkling John, well, let me tell you this about Sparkling John. Right? Seen alt stuff and alt running stuff and that. The 30-mile runner, not a marathon's 26 in it.
Yeah,
26 mile, 385 yard a marathon in it. John's one of them 30-mile runners, a serious run. They're like in a serious
yeah,
club. It's pretty serious stuff. And I've seen, listen, trust me, it's true. Because I was like, wow. You know what I mean? He's training like, Gary Cornforth for one's welcome,
yeah,
multi-millionaire. Gary's been trying to get in shape for years, but he struggles. He can eat proper all day. He can go to gym and that. But when it gets to 7 o'clock at night, while 10 o'clock, he can't. He loses his mind. He's got this
yeah.
massive giant fridge full of loads of food in his house, and his head goes. But he can do everything
Nah,
right, and John's training him. But if John says to me he can't do it, I believe him because he says that's a great. It's too. It's an exaggerated time. So I want to see John Fury back that up. I want to see him do a 200-kilo deadlift with his cock because he said he could do it. And then he said he could do an 140-kilo bench press cold. I want to see that. Because I went today and I did bench press at gym at factory today. I was like, Jesus, blowing out my ass for 75 key.
did you
75 key.
see?
If I do my body weight here, if I do my body weight, I'll be all right here. I did
Did you see?
5k. I went knackered. Two, 3 reps. John Fury does double that to warm up. I mean, do you know Eddie Hall, that world's strongest man? What can
Yeah.
he lift with his cock? He's the strongest man in the world, isn't he? John should make statements like that because I take it as fact. John, you don't live in the woods. You're not John Rambo. You're John Fury. Forget all that rabbit stew at Christmas. You weren't eating rabbit stew in a forest at Christmas when it was freezing cold. Why say it? You were in a warm house eating turkey and veg and Yorkshire puddings and drinking wine like everybody else. Stop it, John. Stop it. You're morphing into Big Joe Egan. Stop it, John.
I want to get back running again. That's in my mind to get back to running. Once the weather gets
So
better,
does
I'll get
Joe
back.
Egan, but he can't do it.
You can't do it. The last 10K I did, I think it took me an hour. I was annoyed at that. But I was doing it for charity. So I just wanted, every time I was doing training, I kept picking up stupid injuries. So I thought, I'm just going to have to slow my pace down. And at least I finished it. But it took me an hour and 20 seconds or something. I was annoyed I didn't get under the hour. But I was never a great runner. I quite enjoyed running, but I've never been a brilliant runner. I could never run at school.
I tried it, mate. I tried that 10 kilometre, mate. And you know how long it took me, don't you? It took me over an hour. I was blowing out my arsehole, mate. And I thought, God, I thought I was fit. I thought I was fit, and I'm not. I can't do it. If I can't beat John Fury's 45-minute time, I look at myself as a failure. How can I compete with John Fury? He's not no ordinary man.
He's a bionic man. He's
Superman.
Superman. Steve Austin.
Listen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. You know, hang on. What's Andre Ward piping up at? Oh, some geezer sent me some. What are you, car for? Oh my God, Andre Ward piping up, eh? The man that won't come to UK, the man without a passport, the original Stinkinator scores a jab in one round, then gets on his bike or holds you. Yeah, great. You know when you're out on piss with your mates, nobody ever says, "Okay, let's go back to yours for a sniff, and we'll put Andre Ward on. We'll watch the Andre Ward collection." You don't get that when they come back here on a Saturday night back in the day, kid. They all
That's it.
say, let's go watch the Cobra. I said, go on then. Nobody wants to watch Andre Ward. He's boring.
Well, Billy Hopkins. Yeah, what Hopkins fights for? I mean, Hopkins Gonzaga was a terrible fight.
Oh, you know Hopkins, you
Horrible.
know what? As he got older, he cheated even more, held on all the time, wanted rest, always complaining about low blows because he was looking for a break and all that. Proctor wrote him off, man. Absolutely wrote him off. And all them tossers who keep saying, yeah, look what he did to Kelly Pavlik. The Cobra's not Kelly Pavlik. Jeez, you know what I mean?
So he
But,
did win a. What was he 50 when he won his last title, wasn't he? Can't remember who that was. That again?
might have been 40 odd or something, late 40s or something. Look, you know how it finished for him, don't you? He got knocked out
To the ring, yeah.
landed on his head upside down. And boxing is the most unforgiving sport in the world. And look at John Roly Poly on my channel. You've seen him, haven't you? Did you see what happened to him? John Roly Poly. Hey, what was all that about? Hey, hey, warrior. John Fury, you're a friend of mine. Yeah, I'm a warrior. You're a warrior. Let's do it in Saudi. Let's show the royals how to do it. Yeah, all them YouTubers. You know, why don't you just say you're trying to nick a few quid, Joe, and Big John Fury's put you up to it? At least come out and speak the truth. You mind all this nonsense about announcement? Only announcement I want to hear from you is that you found the footage of you and I and Mike. And then what I can do, I can put a video out called Cuss Mike and I. Cuss Mike and I. Oh my God. In the Catskills, eating meatloaf and training hard with Teddy Atlas. What a load of old hogwash. There isn't even a photo. You're sparring partner, your hero. Not one photo, pop, pop, bang. I want to ask you, Andy, about get more serious now. See how I can flip from being a clown to serious. Right, I want to ask you now about Ben Shalom and what month this year that Sky are going to pay him to go because he doesn't know what he's doing.
We'll go with August.
August. Well, I'm going to go September. I think he'll be gone for September. And do you know what they could do? Do you know they could parachute in to say rest at contract? Because this time of year, every year, they always parachute him in. Sam Allardyce. They could parachute him in, couldn't they? Sam Allardyce. Big Sam. He's been parachuted in more times than Bravo 2-0, hasn't he? Hey? Big Sam Allardyce, eh? The man that's won a trophy. Put him in the same bracket as Gareth Southgate, Stuart Pearce, Mark Hughes, Steve Bruce, Alan Kirbishley, all the lot of them. There's only Harry Redknapp got a trophy to show for a lot of them, isn't there? What on earth is going on? They've got the same old people being talked about getting the same old jobs. Why don't they give Curtis Woodhouse that job at Sheffield United? He's ex-Sheffield United player. He's got his coaching badges. Why don't they give a young gun a chance? Like,
yeah.
Instead of this clip, because you know what I want to know, right? You know these footballers, you know when they say to them, listen, we're going to have to let you go, son. You don't know what you're doing. You can't manage a piss up in a brewery. They're paying them the salaries for 2 and 3 years to disappear. So these footballers are going to work. There's no incentive. Why don't they just put them on a weekly wage? If they're no good, get gone.
Yeah.
You know that factory, if you know if people are messing about, they're gone. You want to come late, get gone. Be gone. That's it, mate. No messing about with Kevin. If you mess about, you're out. There's none of this, we'll pay you up to pay you to leave. What's all that? You've got to be careful with these foreigners, like, mate, because they know about all these tribunals and they know what they're entitled to. But you've got to do it properly, but and give verbal warnings. And it's all knackers now, isn't it? But as regards footballers, they're pinching a living, these managers. Look at Jose Mourinho. Roma are having to pay him, aren't they, now, because they've got rid of him? What is all that about? How many times has Jose Mourinho been paid off now?
More payoffs and
Hey?
Where's all that money come from? Yeah, that's
Well, it's owners at club, isn't it?
Must have deep pockets.
It's deep some, aren't they? Here we are. Jose Mourinho. Let's have a look here. Wikipedia. Jose Mourinho dos Santos Mourinho. Right. Let's have a look. Right. So look how many clubs he's had. Right. These are the clubs that he's had. One, Benfica, Udinese, Porto, Chelsea, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham, Roma. Sacked from every single one except Porto. He left to go to Chelsea. So you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 payoffs he's had. He's had 10 payoffs. Him.
He could retire. He's well retired before he gets another one.
I know, I'll tell you what he's worth here, Jose Mourinho. So look, where 122 million is worth. Euros, 122 million euros. How much is that in our money? But he is a very successful manager. But then you look at Sam Allardyce on here. Let's have a look. Sam Allardyce. God, I bet he's had a lot of clubs. Big Sam. Hey? He's like in that film Where Eagles Dare. You know, Clint Eastwood and Richard Burton, when they jump out of an aeroplane, they're parachuting into, you know, behind enemy lines and that. He showed them how to do it. Big Sam Allardyce. He's been parachuted in that much. Big Sam's career. Right. How many clubs did he go to? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 clubs as a player. So look, manager, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 clubs as a coach, including England. So 12 clubs in England. And what has he won? He's won 0. He's not won anything. He's not won anything in his life. He's a serial loser as a player and a manager. And he's worth, let me tell you, I don't know. Oh my God, 48 million. See what I mean? 48 million pound is worth, Sam Allardyce. And he's a serial loser. Stuart Pearce. What's Stuart Pearce won as a manager? Zilch. All of them have names. What's Southgate done? We've got serial losers in positions. And it
missed a penalty once.
Yeah. And they all got £150,000 from Pizza, didn't they, for that ad? Do you remember them all? In Wadland, Stuart Pearce. We are serial losers and we make fun of it. And we've got John Fury and Big Joe Egan, two warriors going at it for the Saudis. Serial losers, but masquerading as warriors. It's a society problem, isn't it?
Gladiators,
mate. I'm up to it's stolen valor, isn't it? And we've got Carl Froch, Hall of Famer, and he's not allowed to work on Sky. I can't go too deep on this one. I'm just going to say why. I'm not going to go into too deep. Carl Froch is not on Sky because he wouldn't wear a badge on his shirt. That's all I'm going to say. That's why he's not on Sky. He's not on DAZN because he don't want to be a licker and he goes off script. That's the bottom line. Too honest. And you have people like Gary Neville. They're opposite, aren't they? Mr. Woke, aren't they? Mr. Company Man. Is Johnny Nelson a company man? Yeah, he is, but he's starting to sound a little bit better lately. He's still company man Johnny, though, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? We live in a society now where we reward losers, like Eddie the Eagle. He's on my billboard, isn't he? Eddie the Eagle. He kept finishing last, didn't he, at skiing? But he had book deals and films about him. They made a film about him, didn't they?
That's right.
Wogan, Wogan, do you remember? Fly, Eddie, fly. They made a song about him, didn't they? We're serial losers. All we're good at is darts and snooker, and they're sports that you learn in a pub.
That
is us. When was the last time we won World Cup? 66. That is us in a nutshell. Serial losers. And do you know what? It's crept into sport now in football. Because look at the state of punditry now in football. Look at the state of that at the weekend. Did you hear Penfold and that Stacey Copeland on Sky the other night? I had to turn it off and put ESPN on. I
didn't have the volume on it, so I was up at my pal's house, so we had the volume was low, couldn't really hear the commentary, but I quite often watch fights with the volume down, because especially back when it was Joshua, because it was just a cringe fest. It was a Joshua lick fest, wasn't it? It's just like everyone's anti-Joshua. The other boys landing punches never get mentioned.
Well, listen to this. Did you hear of Steve McLaren as a player?
I think I remember the name.
Yeah, well, Steve McLaren, I didn't hear of him as a player, but he's a manager. He did. I think he's won a couple of trophies. David Moyes has just won one trophy. He's been at it donkey's years. David Moyes. He's a multi-supply swimming in Chochai, right? The combined wealth of Neil Warnock, Steve McLaren, David Moyes, Alan Pardew, Steve Bruce, and Sam Allardyce is 517 million, and Roy Hodgson. So that lot's worth over $500 million. 3, 6, 8 people there worth over $500 million. So they've obviously took that out of the sport of boxing. Serial losers. Serial losers, mate. Serial losers like John Fury and Joe Egan, but masquerading as winners. And it's all about getting yourself out there and selling yourself. Isn't that right, Big Joe? Big actor, big movie star. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. rings me all the time. No, he doesn't, Joe. You was an extra in a film that he were in. He don't ring you all the time. He don't. He don't.
What film was he in?
He was in Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., wasn't he?
I thought it was
Big
Big
Joe.
Joe.
Big Joe, I don't know. He was some extra. I don't know. I think he might have been a tree or something. I think he was studying background. It was some tree or something. Big oak tree. I don't know. Some giant pudding something.
Corpse and Dagger or something like that.
Oh no, Sam Allardyce was born on the same day as me. Oh my God, I'm a serial loser like Sam. Probably am, aren't I? I'm a failed snooker player, aren't I? Failed snooker player, failed cricketer, failed YouTuber, failed matchmaker for Dennis, failed dad.
But you're happy.
I look happy. No. I'm ready for jumping off a bridge. Especially with this boxing game, he's driving me insane.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Mate, the problem with boxing is the people that infiltrate the sport. It's not the boxers. You know the boxers? I've very rarely met a bad boxer because they're all pretty level-headed kids. Because, listen, you've got to respect a boxer getting in there. No matter what, listen, I give Joe Egan and John Fury respect, don't I? For getting in the ring. But don't then have your career over and be coming on social media doing interviews and going on about it like you're pound for pound. Because the proof is in the pudding, you puddings. You see where I'm coming from? Don't be telling me that you've put 100 men on bottom moon in bare knuckle when we've seen what you're about as a pro job. And Big Joe, you've just seen Jam Roly Poly, haven't you? What he's about. And he's telling us he's a warrior. I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior. Do you know what I mean? Cuss, Mike and I in the Catskills. Oh my God. I can't bear it no more. I've got Joe Eganitis. It's a disease. I need to get on sick like Joe, don't I? I need to go down to doctors. I said, give me one of them sick notes that gets you $1,000 a month and your rent paid like Big Joe. I need a sick note. Why? What's wrong with you? I've got Joe Eganitis. Drove me mad with his pork pies.
That's some reality. He's living in a parallel universe, isn't he?
Yeah, I've just had it. Oh, I'll tell you. This is in a bit. This is off somebody that's chain world champions, right? He's just. Right, I'm not going to read it. I'll show you that after. But Joe Egan, yeah. Listen, this is how I look at it. Come on a Zoom with me and Tim Witherspoon, Joe, and let's put this to bed once and for all. Because Tim's going to put you straight, right? And he's going to make a phone call to somebody on the Zoom. That's all I want. Yeah, I wasn't going to ambush you, Joe. But you'd have probably hung up anyway. Come on a Zoom with me and Tim Witherspoon, and let's put this to bed. And let's just move on. Or just put your hand up and say, look, I tried to blag it. I chatted knackers years and I got caught out. That's all you've got to say. Just like Big John Fury when my mate put it on him at a show. And they were doing these photographs behind scenes, you know, where you an evening with John Fury. John's holding court in front of the billboard, sponsors on it. And my mate goes up to him and goes on, asks him about this 100 on Hard Road. And John Fury went, oh, we haven't got time to be answering that. Look, people are paying for the photograph. Move on, we'll talk later. You know, John Fury thinking fast on his feet. Listen, you know why, don't you? You know, if I'd have been there, it'd have been a different kettle of fish, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? Ain't that right? Big John Fury, eh? Big fighting man. 100 men put on button moon. Your words. Hang on a minute. Was that before MI5 were watching you from the moon. Why would MI5 want to watch him? Why? Knocking out second-hand Citroen Berlingos from a traveller camp in Withensea or Withenshaw. Knocking out Citroen Berlingos and Renault Kangos. Right? That's what he was doing, right? So why would MI5 be watching him from the moon? They won't. Oh, you know my mate Frank, don't you know, got a 10 with Peter Fury. Show me all work, right? They got 10s, didn't they, him and Peter, and massive fines. MI5 were watching them. They were following them from Holland and all sorts because they were up to no good, right? So how were they watching him? Wind it as his story. He thinks he's Peter. He's Peter, doesn't he? Because he's heard story. He believes it's him. He probably was pretending to be Peter while Peter were doing his 10. That's what I think. I'm telling you now.
Big Joe Egan thinks he's Glenn McCrory. Maybe what to go on Stars in Their Eyes tonight, Matthew. I'm
living on Fantasy Island. Well, listen, I've got some pals who are going to hear. Irish Club, is it next week or in 10 days? They're all going to be there at York Road, Joe. Steve Collins and Big Joe Egan and Evening With. Well, be ready for some questions on that night. Wet his pants. We're going to have so much fun with this. We're going to have so much. Listen, and this is what it needs. This is what this sport needs. We need these sort of people running out the sport. You know, these types. We're handing trophies out to kids at amateur shows. Big Joe Egan hands trophies out for free at amateur shows. Would you let him hand him trophies out? He's not exactly a champion boxer, is he? So why are they letting these sort of people infiltrate the sport and then running around telling everybody that Daniel Kinneran and Jerry the Monk's best mates? But they're handing trophies out at amateur shows to 10-year-old, 12-year-old kids. What is all that about? What is all that about? Yeah, good old Joe Egan is one of your own. Joe, you know that's totally wrong. And I will show you when you come on Zoom. I'm going to burst your bubble. You mind getting all these cranks to email me daily? Cranks. Absolute cranks. Do it yourself. Hey?
What you need?
Come on Zoom and be a man. Don't be a mouse. Be a man. What?
What you need is Tim Witherspoon to turn up at that evening.
Tim Witherspoon would light him up inside 10 seconds, and he knows that. Isn't that right, Big Joe?
He's a real champion. Good boxer, Tim Witherspoon.
Two-time heavyweight champion of the world. He also beat Larry Holmes, but got robbed in a split 1982.
Yeah.
And he sparred Ali for Foreman when he were a babby in Kinshasa, is it? He were out there in Muhammad Ali's camp. And Muhammad Ali spoke very, very, very highly of him. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I know who I'd believe. Dennis Hobson's dad get Tim Witherspoon an house to live in for years, and he was his driver and his minder. And I know who I believe, right? But that's what you're up against, isn't it? With Big Joe Egan, Big Waffler. Went to Dennis's dad's funeral, didn't even know him. Jeez. Unbelievable, mate. Absolute fraud. Isn't that right, Big Joe Egan, you fraud? Absolute fraud, mate. Handing business cards out at a funeral. Mr. Networker. Yeah. But that's all I'm going to give you tonight on him, because I'm going to save the best for last. So get ready, Mr. Announcement. You're putting announcements out now. What? I'm back. Oh, and I found God. Unbelievable. Absolute waffle. Absolute inventing stuff. Unreal. But it is what it is, isn't it? Do you think Billy Joe's coming back? Yes or no?
Yeah.
I don't think he is now. I think it's died a death on it. Do you think it's a shame?
Yes.
Isn't it, really?
It is a bit. He's a skillful boxer. He had probably had more to give, but he's going to just disappear, isn't he? We've been away too long now, isn't
he? Yeah. Oh, tell me about it. Way too long. But did you rate him?
I thought he was a decent boxer, right? Though I thought when he fought Eubank, I kind of thought Eubank beat himself in that fight. He didn't do enough the first 6 rounds, did he? And Billy Joe was kind of hanging on near the end, was he? No, he was getting Eubank was putting on him towards the end of the fight. I thought Eubank could have won that fight. It was there to be won, but nah, I thought Billy Joe was a decent fighter. Right?
Usyk Fury, who wins?
I'm going Usyk. I think Fury on his best day could have had a chance, but I think his best days are behind him, so
I do.
chance is gone. So I think I'd go Usyk, probably on points, but I reckon Usyk will probably drop him at some point, just through a punch he doesn't see coming in. I don't think he'll knock him out, but I think he'll drop him at some point because he's just a master of angles and everything. Isn't he? Usyk is.
Yeah. Andy, Fury, obviously, he's been dropped 5 times in his last 70 rounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been dropped in his last 70 rounds once every 14 rounds, right, on average, yeah. Now, in his first 160 rounds as a pro, he got dropped twice, so that's once every 80 rounds. So as he's stepped up his opposition after that long layoff,
To be fair, that was against Wilder,
4 times.
Who's dropped everybody. He's fought Bar Parker, isn't he? So
Yeah.
you could say that, but he might prove us wrong, but I don't think so. I think that ship sailed. I think I favour Usyk, and probably Usyk's probably past his very best, but I think he's still got enough in the tank to beat Fury. I think so anyway.
What we're going to say if Tyson Fury beats Usyk, what's going to be our excuses?
Well, he's proved us wrong, That's all you can say.
I'm not going to say that. I'll just say beat a small man.
Yeah. He was only a middleweight, wasn't he? He was only a middleweight.
Hey, listen, I'll be honest, I hope Usyk knocks him out. I've got an Usyk hoodie in there. My mate Paul from Kent sent me it. Yeah. I hope Tyson gets iced. Well, why would I want to cheer for somebody who carries off like that?
I mean, as you know, normally I don't really mind who wins when I watch a fight. I just like to see a good fight and a good fair result and a good fair fight. And but I just think Usyk will get the better of me. Usyk's I think he's probably one of the best, definitely one of the best boxers this generation. He'll be an all-time great. I think he will go down in the record books as an all-time great when you look at his amateur career and his pro career. Plus, Fury's never fought anybody like him, has he? He's never been up against somebody with more skill than himself.
Yeah.
Or anybody that sort of matches his skill, because he's got amazing skills himself, but who's he fought that's come close to these skills?
Who's fought?
Who's Fury fought that's got close to anything like
if when you look at Fury's CV, he got Vladimir at right time, didn't he? Could have had him in 2012. He fought at end of 15, didn't they? Got Vladimir, and that wasn't a brilliant fight, but he did enough to win, did he?
I don't think Vladimir's
cruiserweight one who dropped him. Who's his other win? Wilder twice.
Steve Cunningham. I mean, I don't think Vladimir was as skillful as Usyk. He was bigger, but he's not as skillful. I think Vitali would have been a harder fight for Fury. I think his style would have given Fury more trouble than Vladimir's. Vitali would have got stuck in. He wouldn't have been holding back with punches due to feints. I think his style would have given Fury more trouble. Fury might have beat Vitali, but I think Vitali would have given. Vitali was a bit taller as well than Vladimir, wasn't he? So he would have matched Fury for height.
Personally, I think Vitali would have lit Tyson up.
Mm.
And he nearly lit Lennox up, didn't he? If his eye hadn't gone.
He did, aye. Lennox did well. His big right hands, he was taking flush right hands, wasn't he, off Vitali? So there's always question marks over Lennox's chin at times, but I think that was when he was underprepared. When he was underprepared for Rackman, when he went out there and it was high altitude he was fighting at, wasn't he? And he hadn't acclimatised, did he?
Yeah, a bit like Frotch with Ash Cloud. There's always an excuse, though, isn't there, when a fight. If Lennox had knocked him out, he wouldn't have gone an hour struggling with altitude. So, right. And if Carl had got this decision, and HBO get him it by 2 rounds against Kessler, the HBO ringside pundit, so they get it Frotch by 2. But look, and nobody would mention Ash Cloud, would he? So it is what it is. But the point I want to make is, I thought he beat Kessler out there, but I would do, wouldn't I? point I want to make is Lennox got out after that Vitaly fight, didn't he? He must have thought, God, I've got old here. A bit like Calzaghe got dropped twice in his last 2 fights against old men. Would Frocha let Calzaghe off the hook when he were getting pasted by Hopkins and Jones early doors? He wouldn't have done, would he?
Oh, no. Calzaghe recovered quick, didn't he? He did recover quick.
Yeah, he did.
I think one of them dropped him with a forearm, wasn't it? Was it Jones? It's like a forearm that dropped him, wasn't it? If I remember right.
Yeah, it was inside of his forearm, but the ref missed it, didn't it? But
it's a bit like Dillian White dropped Parker with, was that a headbutt or a forearm or something?
Dillian White. Is he coming back in?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see him coming back.
Who's going to want to risk him?
Put the money up for the show and then he fails a drug test or something. He's bound to get. He's surely going to get banned, is it not for that? I don't know.
Man, what's happening with Crusher Ben's ban? What's going on there? No doubt.
Silent ban.
Right.
Silent ban.
Oh no. Okay then. Well, listen. We'll finish off on this. Give me your top 5 pound for pound.
Top 5 pound for pound will be Crawford, Beterbiev, NOU, Usyk, and who's the other one I was thinking about? Tank Davis, maybe.
Tank. Do you know what? That's mine.
Is it?
Well, then 4, I can't split the other 4. Tank's definitely 5. The other 4, I know you, Usyk, Beterbiev and Crawford. I can't split them 4. They're that good. They're that good.
Beterbiev's one of my favourite fighters at the moment, I would say. He's all business, isn't he?
Yeah. No messing about. No messing about.
I watched his training video he did. Was it 140 kilo squats he did as well, wasn't
it? Yeah, on his left testicle.
200 was right.
He beat John Fury's record, hasn't he, on hard road? Cold. And a rabbit stew on hot fire. Bugs Bunny on grill. Followed by a jog soup. Right, I'm gonna get off. People are gags out at me tonight. If anybody's offended by what I've said tonight, I don't care. Get out more. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. And don't forget, if you're on social media, ask Big Joe Egan why he's swerving a Zoom with Big Porky from South Yorkshire. Why are you swerving me, Joe Egan? What have you to hide? Normally we can't shut you up on social media, but now all of a sudden you're in hiding. Oh my God. Well, peace out.
Be happy, be healthy.
All right. God bless.
Cheers, mate.
All right.
Cheers.
All right.